when the Eagles won the Super Bowl.
Hello!
Howdy.
Top of the evening to you.
How are you, birthday girl?
I'm good. Birthday in
You
it
know
up.
what else is good? Our sound.
Oh, good. Fabulous. Fabulous.
That's a nice little birthday present for you, is good sound.
Everything worked today. Thank you, Robin.
Yeah.
Hey, Alicia, thank you. Hey, Marianne.
Go figure everything worked today on a day that was more frazzled.
I I know. Today was the kind of day, and I'm gonna knock on wood. So, that could have been fraught because we were coming from another important meeting.
Oh
So
my God, literally seconds.
yeah, I actually had my earbuds and my headphones on because I was connected on two different devices. Because you can't connect to different Zoom meetings on the same device.
Yeah, and you looked pretty weird in that meeting on your phone.
Oh, did I? That's why I
Yeah,
turned.
your space looks totally different in that kind of perspective.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird angle, and I had my phone like propped up. It's a weird angle. So
Also, I have to point out the fact that behind me, you're seeing a little more disaster than you're used to seeing. And I ran into my office here because I was downstairs for this other meeting, and I'm sitting here and I'm looking. I'm like, oh my God! I'd thrown a ton of stuff on top of my shelves because I'm moving a bunch of stuff in here, and I was like, wow, that looks bad. So I like quickly grabbed a quilt and was just like throwing it over the stuff. Normally I have two quilts up, so it covers all the shelves, but I only had time for the one. So it's less stuff than normal, but like, enjoy
So
this log
first of
cabin.
all, it is a gorgeous quilt. That quilt is just stunning. I don't know that I've ever seen that quilt before.
You have. You were with me when I bought it.
Was I?
Yeah, it was a Pennsylvania trip to Penn's. And I bought it out of the back of another friend's car. And your mom
Um,
bought something out of the back of that friend's car too.
okay. Well, it might have been at a point in time where I just didn't pay that much attention to it because my mom was also buying things, and I was like, what have we got here? But that is an absolutely stunning quilt. But yes, trying to cover your stuff with that one quilt, I was like, it's like just putting a Kleenex over. Like,
Well, it was also just one of those I gotta like quickly, I mean, to be fair, it's covering the worst of it. This stuff over here is kind of neater piles, and then on the top was just like
it's okay.
so I was like,
It's okay.
oh, yeah. So,
Hey,
and
Janet.
Janet, she is sunny and 78. Happy birthday to Steph. Guess what, Janet? 78 is too hot for Stephanie.
78 works for me. It is currently 78 inside my house right now, so we don't have the AC on. So
That's too hot. It is a little warm up here, but luckily we're not going to do any super heavy lifting tonight. I hope everyone was able to catch the first half of this exhibit that we put online for you last Tuesday. It was nice to finally get to
it's a
one that
rock.
keeps sitting in the queue.
Oh, right.
Well, and the reason it was so great to get to it though is because as I had mentioned in that video, when you acted all like, ho, 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 I didn't know that there were bicentennial quilts in here. And I was like, yes, you did, because I told you you done messed up when you didn't go to this excursion. So finally getting to see it is
In and Out
first.
Burger. Oh, Janet, I'm jealous.
I've never had it in and out.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it good?
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, their fries are okay. They're not my favorite cut of fry, but yeah, they're very good burgers. Always get animal style. It's like it's like oh gosh, like
I was
Big
gonna say,
Mac.
I very much require context.
Well, it's Big Mac sauce. It's like a secret. It's kind of like a secret menu kind of thing, but you can get your.
Big back sauce.
So yeah, like the sauce that's on a Big Mac, special sauce.
Oh, Big Mac. I thought you said Big Back. I'm like, who names this crap?
No,
Like,
it's the same kind of sauce that's on a Big Mac, but I think instead of Janet, I don't know if you get them this way, but I think instead of the pickles, the little diced relish, I think it's little onions. I think they're like little
oh,
grilled
I like
onions in there.
that.
Yeah, it's animal style is good. It tastes very good. You could get your fries that way. You could get your double that way.
So, do you just know like about burger joints across the country
Yeah,
and
yeah,
chicken?
yeah. Okay, yes. Robin confirmed it's onions. Um,
And Alicia asked what your favorite cut of fry is.
I am a steak fry gal. I like those long flat planks. Those are delicious. Hand cut would be my second favorite, and then probably crinkle fries. I have to say, right now, there is absolutely no fast food joint other than like the small regional ones. Everybody's fries are garbage now. Except for McDonald's, but only if you eat all of them in the first 30 seconds. Otherwise, the minute
But
they start to get cold.
McDonald's like doesn't even really have, they're like little tiny like wisps of
Well,
fries
that's the thing.
now.
That's why
They're
you have
so
to eat
thin.
them. Like, you reach into the fry thing, like,
Like a bouquet of
like you're
flowers.
grabbing a bouquet of flowers and then you're just like, because if you don't eat them very quickly, they get cold and then they're no good. Yeah.
Wow. I used to really love the old fries Wendy's used to have.
Yeah, Wendy's did have good ones. Yeah, yeah.
Matchsticks. Yeah.
Shoestring
All
fries
right,
are
all
good.
right, all right.
Yeah, yeah.
Before we devolve
This is not a
into,
stitch and
this
glitch,
is
you
not,
guys.
yeah. We should call it like Stitch and Glitch and Food.
Yeah, yeah. And Cake's got some cake to get to. So.
Oh, what kind of cake? Wait, we can talk about that. That is relevant today.
So
I forgot to get cake.
yeah, and I was gonna actually have my little cake here. So we have a crumble. I'll do this quickly. We have a crumble, and crumble is supposed to be like this fabulous cookie joint. It is out of Utah, so it's kind of like a very popular. I assume it's Mormon owned. Very popular with the folks in Utah. Get some cookies and get yourself a soda, that kind of thing. Crumble here is just a god awful mess. Like, the cookies are
Like,
great.
it's really crumbled.
Well, the cookies are great, but like, the customer service is literally the worst customer service ever. And on multiple occasions, my husband has put his foot down and said, "No more crumble cookies for anybody's birthdays." So I had said Wegmans has these adorable little cakes. They're like literally like a little 2 or 3 layer cake. They're so cute. And I said, well,
I
I'll
love Wegmans baked
take
stuff.
one of those because we have Wegmans close by. Anyway, he comes home with the crumble cookies. He says, oh, bad customer service. I got it as usual, so at least some things never change. But they have one right now that's called like a birthday cake, and it's a tiny little 2-layer cookie cakey thing. So that's my cake, and then 5 other cookies. So, and if you've never had crumble cookies, they're about this big, like big. And if you eat an entire one, you should be maybe ashamed of yourself. Not to say I haven't done that, but they're a cut it in half and share it cookie, because I think each one is like 1,000 calories or something. It's crazy. So
Wow. That was a lot of extra commentary in there about your inner feelings about eating the whole cookie.
so anyway, we will I'll be getting to my delicious desserts.
Oh, yeah, I'm kind of bummed you didn't like show us the cookie.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're supposed to be like, "Oh my God, look at my treat." All right. So, let's get the show on the road. I'm gonna have to like Inception for a second here. It's oh my God, it's September 23rd.
September 23rd. Actually, my cousin was supposed to be having her baby today. So there's a little child out there possibly. If she
On your
on
birthday?
my birthday.
She's so rude. But no, I'm more so just looking at it like, oh my God, I have to make October's schedule. And you know what happens? This happens to me every single year. I don't know if I said this last year, but on September 21st, I'm like for me that day lasts a week because I'm always just like, do you remember? Like I sing that song like 75 times that day. And then I forget that there are other days that happen after that. So, but hey, we're stitching and glitching on Saturday. It'll be business as usual. If you were with us the last one, we had to do a shorty because I had to get to Nantucket. But that was a fun trip. So we can talk about a lot more food that day. Maybe I'll have cake then for that day. I had too much going on today. I had a bed delivery at 7 a.m. this morning, and they called me at 6:30 to tell me that they were coming. It's criminal. All right. Anywho, if you happen to have a link handy, Stephanie dear, here is our next book. That will start in mid-October. We're not going to start it right at the first like we normally do, just because then Stephanie and I have to go to seminar. and people didn't want to have to take a seminar break because God, when we get back from seminar, it's also like there's so much to talk about. So we'll start that later. But I'm really excited for this one. It's gonna
Me
be
too.
cool. It's got more than just quilts in it. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be.
Yeah, I have to say, if you've been on the fence about it, it is one of the more expensive books, but I did start reading the very beginning of it, and it is really good. So, I think
Stephanie,
it's gonna be a
stop it.
good one. Well, I do that. You know, I look at all the
Stop it.
pictures, and then I read the first page, and
Oh yeah, the first page. Later on, she's gonna be like, so I was like, so on page 50.
I did not get that far.
Yeah, you're like, oh, I'm only at 39. Stephanie. So this is where we ended, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. I thought so. I thought so. And just as a reminder, in case you didn't watch the first video, one of the reasons that this exhibit took so long is I had to do a bit of color correcting to the photos, which is just kind of a time suck.
Yeah,
But
and it doesn't help. I noticed that some of the images just happen to have like beige and yellow and those kind of colors
Mhm.
in them. Like
Mhm.
the quilts happen to be those colors. So it's really hard to color
Mhm.
correct. And
Yeah,
yeah.
this particular museum has their lighting system, whatever bulbs they're using or something, has a yellow cast to them.
Mm-hmm.
And you know how like certain your phones and stuff pick up certain colors more than others. My phone was all like, "Oh yeah, we're getting on this yellow train." And the photos were so yellow that they distorted some stuff that I knew, wasn't, was a different color. So I was like, I got to go through and try to color correct as best I can. You can still tell in a lot of them that
I
there's
think
more
you
of a
did a good
cast.
job. I do think you did a good job.
Thanks for not knowing. I mean, it's funny. There was a part of me that was harkening back to my days working in a photo lab. It's the coolest job I ever had. And said, "Oh, this is too cyan, and this one's too magenta." But yeah. So, getting on with the party
Hmm.
here. Yeah, I also have to say that for anyone that's asking, I made this little presentation in Canva, and the reason I did this is because I found out that you can oh, where's my toolbar here? Just remember. You can like zoom in on stuff, and now in this moment,
It's not working.
no, I'm forgetting how to hold on. Hold, please.
I use the wheel on my mouse to zoom in and out. Once you click,
I'm
I
gonna
don't know if that works here or not.
Oh, no, why am I like forgetting how to do this right now? Where is my little toolbar? Can you see my toolbar?
Mm-mm.
Or is
Now, are you
that
talking
just
about
on
the zoom
mine?
toolbar or?
Any of it?
Yeah, no, I can't see anything
Hmm.
other than your
How
cursor bumping around. In the
yeah,
meanwhile,
how
this is a very fun
do it?
looking quilt.
Sorry,
um,
guys. I'm also like trying to like just in case somebody that's not maybe hold on. Hmm. Did you do anything fun today, Steph?
well, I actually have been working on a little birthday scene, a little miniature birthday scene, because I have some little miniature cake, and some dear friends of ours sent me as my birthday gift a tiny cooler full of tiny ice and tiny beer and a tiny bottle of wine, two tiny little wine glasses that are full. So of course they come to the party, and yeah, I mean, last night I made a tiny little happy birthday banner. So yeah,
You know
I
what?
did some real important stuff today.
I think how I did this was I didn't have it on present mode. I think I just had it in here, didn't I?
I don't think so, but whatever works.
Yeah, because I was gonna say
We
like
have a lot of noise around because we've got a lot of things, but
I'm just trying to because I can zoom here.
yeah,
I'm
I thought
just
you were just doing
yeah,
something. Yeah,
I
I know you zoomed in
can't.
for me to read the
Yep.
things.
Yeah, but I like can't
Um,
remember now how I zoomed in. I have a feeling that we just stayed on here. Okay. Um, can I get rid of this thing? Apparently, I just forgot how to do anything in the week since we like
Yeah, I don't know
did
what to tell
this.
you.
Why can't I? Okay. We can always just go back to present. Full screen presenter view. Is that what I hit maybe?
Maybe.
Present and record. Present full screen. I am annoyed. Is this big enough for you to read at this point?
Sure.
Is it? Or,
Yeah, I could figure it out.
oh my God, I hate you.
Janet's almost done with the painting.
I
The
can't wait to
pods have
see
been
the,
unloaded. I bet you're glad to
I
get those
cannot wait
the
to see
pods
the
out of there.
full, the, I can't wait to see the full thing.
All right.
Yeah, Marianne said, sorry, can't help my brain is the empty set. So this is the thing, it's the end of the day, but we can still see beautiful stuff. Please take her away.
All right. So this is the Elizabeth Griffiths quilt, 1852, 93 by 112 inches. On loan from the Orangetown Historical Museum and Archives, Orangeburg. I've never heard of Orangeburg. I'm assuming that's also in New York.
Hmm.
One of the earliest of Rockland's applique album quilts, this quilt was presented to Elizabeth Griffiths by her friends. Elizabeth was the wife of Elder Joseph Griffiths, founder and minister of the First Baptist Church, Middletown, I don't, Nanawet?
Sure.
And a great grandmother of the painter Edward Hopper. Oh my goodness. Okay. In 1854, Mrs. Eliza Cooper wrote a poem naming many of the friends and describing their blocks. There's a panel at the left. I assume that's what that next picture is. Her poem about Block 6, Row 7 reflects her support for temperance. Then the one by Mrs. Sarah Herring has a flower like the rose of Sharon, also a pitcher, let us fill our glass and let us have the main law come to pass. Okay, the main law refers to the prohibition of alcohol. Okay, I never heard it called the main law.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'm just sorry. Someone just screamed weirdly outside my window. Um,
Um,
oof. This is, oh wow, that's a long poem.
wow. Yeah. Quite the poet.
Mhm. 65 of her friends.
Wow.
Yep.
You know,
We are
I
not going to read all
I
this.
must have more friends this year, you guys, because I by this like before we came to our other meeting, so 5:30 p.m. our time, I had more birthday things posted on my Facebook than I did last year. I
Wow.
must have more friends. Um,
Like, how many did you think you had beforehand?
I think it said last year I had 43.
Only 43, huh?
This year I have almost 60 at this point. Sorry,
And how
guys.
many?
Sorry for that bragging. Half of them are people I don't even remember or know. I appreciate the well wishes. I mean, it's very nice. But yeah. So the fact that this lady had 63 friends who would contribute quilt blocks, now that is something else. I only have like 50 some who will post like an automated message on my board on my Facebook
Oh, so you
page.
probably only have like five that would do quilt blocks, right?
Yes. You probably people that are here, like Robin. I know. I was listening out of you guys. I know Robin and Janet wished me happy birthday online, so I could count on you guys to. So I'd have this like lovely quilt planned with like 3 blocks.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And oh yeah, that's right. It goes on and on and on.
Wow,
Yep.
that's something else. Man, they loved to write poetry in the 19th century.
Mm-hmm. And yes, please forgive me that we're not gonna read all this. I'm just stopping on it in case other people want to read it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Um, mhm. It's interesting though. I'll read just one here. I'm doing right here, row 4, block 4. You will find another with a large tree, Mrs. Eliza. Blavelt, I think, is the name you'll see. It has a large rose looking fresh and fair, and a strawberry plant. It was made with care. She sounds very, very cheeky, like her. Here we go. Here's some stuff. The thing that I found really stunning is the signatures. Like they're like embroidered
Yeah, I was about to
in
say
like a
these are,
script.
yeah, these are embroidered. That's pretty crazy because usually the handwriting is, even when it's very legible, it's still so flowery. It seems like it's difficult, would be difficult to
Hmm.
stitch. But
And it
yeah,
looks
those are.
like they it's not they're embroidering like an actual signature. You know how sometimes when you have embroidered names, they're all embroidered the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like so someone was writing out. These look to me like all different handwriting that's been embroidered. It's
Gotcha.
not all the
Wow.
same hand.
That's pretty ambitious.
And I think you need a certain level of skill because a lot of people, now granted, the average person had far better handwriting then than most people have now. I've noticed. And but like there's still probably people that had annoying handwriting to try to embroider.
Yeah. Chicken scratch handwriting. Seems like
Hmm.
nobody dotted their I's with hearts though. So, but this was
Do you
18.
do
What
that?
this? No, I tried to do that for a while in sixth grade. It just didn't. It didn't stick. This was 1850 something, right?
1852, honey, it's right
Mm.
here.
Oh, right in front of me. Yeah,
I love the beehive thing.
yeah. So this is just after the height of Baltimore album quilts. So I would say up and down the East Coast that the trend continues with these types of all sorts album quilts.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, here's some more. Like, look at how, like, just like perfectly wonderful this is with like its outline and Hannah Steele, remember me. And here's a bird
I love
because
that
you know,
bird.
yeah, from our last perusal, we were looking at all the birds.
Hmm.
But yeah, see, like here's some handwriting here that's like less than amazing. Like it's not bad, but it's not amazing. Maybe that one might have been a little more obnoxious to embroider. Just saying. I've also noticed too, there's a very consistent red throughout all of these.
Yeah, I
And this
noticed.
is
I
a
just
big
noticed
quilt.
that. Yeah. Um, that looks like a bandana at first, and then I realized that it's a little bit different. But
It's also a red I don't think I've ever seen before.
yeah, it doesn't look familiar. Like I said, it looked like a bandana at first, but I don't recognize that fabric. Um,
Hmm.
I think it is interesting to do that. Like that's an interesting design choice, and certainly, I mean, I love scrappy quilts, but I also think it's cool to have your quilt be scrappy, but then choose like one bold color that is gonna always be the same, like whether it's a
Hmm.
solid or a print, but that it's not a bunch of reds, it's one red, and then maybe all the rest might be scrappy. I think that's a fun
Hmm.
design choice.
Hmm.
And I love that swag and the bows. So
Moving on here. Um, Another albumy quilt. God, I'm just like being reminded that this one was hard to deal with the color because this light was
oh
so
yeah, that
bright
light is right there in the middle of it.
on it. Cause yeah, like, and what you kind of miss is like there's like a reindeer right here,
Hmm.
but he's looking a little washed out. Like there's like a really awesome eagle going on here. Um, Buildings, another one of those same kind of birds
Yep, I see
that we had looked at in
strawberries,
the
I
other
see a
one.
train. There's all kinds of cool
Mm-hmm.
stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. So this is the Thompson Gurney quilt, 1854, 76 by 84 and a half. Gift of Lewis Hornick and Company. Haverstraw. Haverstraw. That's the name. The 42 blocks in this quilt reflect the life of its Rockland County residents. Images include a train, three churches, a sloop, a deer, a horse, and an abundance of flowers and leaves. Many of the people named are related to Cockgurney, 1776 to 1861, who lived in the town of Ramapo.
Ramapo, yep.
One block made by his daughter-in-law Sarah Ann Thompson Gurney is in memory of her brother Edmund H. Thompson, who died in Bradford, Pennsylvania in 1851.
I thought Ramapo was in New Jersey, but maybe it is in New York.
I don't know. I only paused for a second because I remember like, oh, you had to say that
Yeah, I knew.
in the
Well,
last.
just Ramapo University is something that Ramapo College is something that I've been involved with through some other part of my life. So
Mhm.
very familiar with people from Ramapo and the college, but for some reason I thought it was in New Jersey, but I could be wrong. It could be in New York, or it could be New Jersey. Yeah, close enough. I think the sloop is down on the bottom row, kind of in the center. Yeah,
This?
is that the sloop?
I don't know. What is a sloop?
Oh, it's a boat.
Oh,
It's a boat.
I've never heard of a sloop.
Yeah, it's a type
Uh,
of boat. Like I think it has like one sail, or I don't know.
Okay, well then that makes this is the only boat looking thing.
Okay.
So it must be that. The other thing too about this, which is very interesting, is like I find the swag on this, well, swag, the border here, this vine looking thing. Um it's
Is it cut off at the top? It looks like
yeah,
they
I guess a little bit, yeah.
trimmed it off at the top after it was stitched down. I mean, it's like they've cut right through
Well, I
some
see
of it.
some wear right here on the binding. So
Yeah.
may I guess there's potential that this could have been used and maybe there was
Yeah.
damage
No
and
beard
they
guard.
lopped it off.
You gotta trim that part off.
But so it's funny. So and I'll go back to the last one if we just wanted to compare real quick. But so for this kind of quilt, right? I feel like sometimes the borders um are more simple to, in my opinion, not take away from all of this stuff going on in the center. This one seems really busy to me in comparison with stuff. So let me just so we can compare real quick here. See, this one is, even though it's thick in the applique, like it's really simple. Isn't necessarily pulling away
Yeah.
from all there is to be seen in the middle here. Um,
I would argue that the bows do make it a little busier than just a straight swag. Um,
but it's busy like in the sense that like it's just thick.
mhm.
This is busy in the sense that like there's just as much going on in the border as there is in terms of like
Yeah, I agree.
subject matter. Like there's this kind of flower and then this kind of flower and then this one and this leaf and then this kind of leaf and
Yeah,
that's
I
all.
mean, I see your point. Although I am a more is more person, so it doesn't bother me in the slightest. But yes, I do see
Coming
your
from the
point.
person who likes to make small stuff.
Yeah, but
It,
like very, very involved small stuff. Okay.
let me get to more details here. So
Yep,
yeah.
there's
Oh,
the
there.
sloop.
There we go. Yeah, because I was probably like, well, what the hell is that?
Apparently, it's a sloop. I believe all that red would be the rigging, because the green is the sail.
Hmm. And then at least this particular signature is just
Ink.
inked, not anything else. You know what is interesting is this red here is there isn't any dye drop in that black. Normally I don't see that red with the black intact.
Yeah, that's usually you have all those little holes, right?
Hmm. And I don't really know what we would call this print, but from this angle and this, it looks like a ton of tiny little hands or like little chicken feet, just like all like, ah.
Little jazz
You know that's
hands.
yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah, so here's that memorial block
Oh
with like
yeah, and that's
a
reverse applique.
drawn with like a drawn face.
Yeah, and it
And
looks
then
like the
and then a
willow. Yeah, and is
Mhm.
that a signature in the corner, or is it some kind of little
Yep.
doodad?
It's a signature. It looks like it's got a little bird.
Gotcha. And then that weeping willow, that's reverse applique, isn't it?
Um,
Those little white, like,
no, I don't think so. Because all of this is, I think it's this is just kind of made to be one whole piece.
I know, but the little curved white things that are above the
Mm-hmm.
tombstone, is that not reverse
Mm-hmm.
applique? To show that it's a
Well,
willow?
wouldn't it just be a hole in the green?
Yes, that's how you do reverse
I
applique.
have, am I having a brain fart here?
Possibly.
Like,
Yeah. Marianne agrees. It looks
yeah,
like
okay.
reverse. Yeah. It's where you like, yeah, that it's a single piece of green fabric and then they've clipped little like curved lines in
Got
it
it.
and then yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
having a brain fart.
I also love that train with those two little
Mm-hmm.
figures. That's adorable.
Mm-hmm. Well, and these tiny little tiny wheels. I think it's, what's interesting is I think in a lot of other applique quilts we've seen that have trains, I feel like the wheels often just end up being embroidered and not actual applique part of it. Like it obviously like the spoke kind of the
Mhm.
wheel is embroidered, but not the actual like wheel itself is applique. And then this like piece of a wreath down here. Look at how this is like overlapped. Oh, sorry, gotta get it. These all the like these little hearts.
Mhm. Yeah, I
I thought
think
that was.
there's a lot of pretty cool creativity in this.
And also these are the biggest
I was gonna
flowers
say, I was about to
known to
say,
man.
those rosebuds are really disturbing.
They're like from Mario Brothers, where like the trees come to like try to attack you.
Hmm.
This was just chilling on the wall. This is a massive blow up of one of those Victorian trade cards
Yep.
that we have shown before numerous times here that are often comical in when they have absolutely nothing to do with anything that they're
Right.
advertising. But
This
this
one's
one's just
very,
really, really pretty.
yeah, this one's really cute. This one's very sweet. I would have liked to have seen one of the more bizarre ones blown up because those are the ones I love. You know, what does a bunch of weird caterpillars or frogs in tuxedos have to do with? I guess maybe the caterpillars could have been silk, but
You know what I've never seen in a trade card is a quilt.
that is, yeah. I'm trying to think if
And
I've seen.
this would have been the craze of crazy quilts for one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I wonder if anyone exists. Oh my God, this photo pissed me off till no end because these things really are like an orangey yellow.
Ah, bummer. Okay. So this is a ladies' aid quilt from 1936. 90 and a half by 76 and 3/4 inches. Gift of Wayne County, Pennsylvania Historical Society. This quilt, made by the Ladies' Aid Society of Christ Evangelical Lutheran Church of Altamont, contains the names.
Earmont? Is it Earmont?
Earmont? Okay, sorry. Contains the names of many Rockland families, including Bowen, Brooks, Karloff, Kronk, Dodge,
Lichholtz, maybe?
Lichholt, Martine, Pitt, Rice, Smith, Van Houten, and Wanamaker. Wanamaker's a big name in department stores. The Ladies' Aid Society celebrated its 50th anniversary in 1936. In the first 50 years, the society contributed funds to memorial windows.
Windows?
Okay, what's a memorial window? The heating system building and parsonage alterations, the pipe organ, and more. Okay, memorial window, I guess, in a church. Sorry, I didn't know what that was. The anniversary was celebrated with a covered dish supper, a guest speaker, and a sketch, The Quilting Bee, written by Mary Martin Lichholt, the president of the society.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so each one of these circles has names on it.
That's a fun
I don't think
quilt.
the petals do.
Yeah, that's a
Why?
fun quilt. I
Oh,
mean,
fun. I thought you said funny.
no, it's just fun. It's very
Yeah,
simple.
it's bright and
Yeah.
cheery and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. More embroidered Oh,
Oh, there
actually,
are
that looks
names
like.
on all the petals.
Oh, there are. Yeah.
And that's interesting because the center, it looks like it's like a print, but it looks like those are actual signatures on the petals.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you know what else too that I'm just realizing that the thing didn't say is this doesn't look finished. It looks like it might be just a top or
Hmm.
a coverlet
Hmm.
because it's not quilted. And it's also the one thing that makes me think it's just probably I'll go back that it's probably a top is it's how wrinkly it is. Um,
Yeah, it's got
yeah,
that
it
like
doesn't.
that
Yeah.
sort of drape, that
Hmm.
sag that you see in quilt tops.
That sag. Look, this quilt, she's got that sag.
Some of us get a little saggy after 50 years.
Now, we've got applique album quilts. Autograph album books were popular in the 19th century. Friends and relatives signed the pages with a verse or drawing. By the 1840s, this practice was transferred to quilts, especially in the Philadelphia and Baltimore areas. Applique album quilts became popular in Rockland in the 1850s. They feature a large variety of images, prominent use of red and green colors, and often sashing or corner motifs to separate blocks. Common images include flowers, fruit, hearts, abstract designs, animals, tools, and buildings. The images as a whole reflect the rural communities in which these women lived. Each block is often inscribed with a different name, assumed in many cases to be the maker of the block. The recipient may have been put the recipient may then have put the blocks together and quilted the quilt. Alternate, Alternatively, the quilt might be presented to the recipient already completed. Sorry, I don't have words.
sometimes sometimes the way that they write these, like the turn of phrase is weird, you know.
Mm-hmm,
Um
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I'm just curious because you know more about Baltimore album quilts than I do. Why did they primarily use red and green? You don't know?
yeah, Baltimore album quilts are not necessarily red and green, just red and green. I mean, some
Well,
are,
no, it
but
just said it
yeah.
often uses, and I mean everyone
Well,
looked at it, but
I think what I had heard really is, I mean, it's the like turkey red was just, it was a thing, and people were like, haha, a red that doesn't bleed or run away, I'm going to use it everywhere.
it,
So I think
it
that
doesn't. Wow, what a commercial they could have made for the Super Bowl back then, huh? Like, is your red running away? Like,
yeah. um so yes, I think that the popularity of turkey red was one thing, and I'm guessing with green, and this is where my dates are kind of mess me up, but was this a point where they had stable greens that were not yellow or blue over dyed? Was this a stable green, or I can't remember. I feel like it has to do with the availability in the dyes, I think. Um, the upside down on the top half is because it's a presentation quilt, and typically it would be folded and
mm-hmm,
shown, so you could
mm-hmm,
turn it whatever way you want.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. This one's yours, love.
Oh, okay. The Briggs quilt, circa 1855? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
95 by 108, gift of Florence L. and Marjorie D. Blauvelt. This quilt has 56 blocks. Many are not inscribed, and others are inscribed only with initials. We can, however, identify the small family group who signed their full names. Cornelia Clark Briggs, 1791 to 1859, and her daughters, Anne Briggs, 1820 to 1894, and Eliza Briggs Van Deen. I guess that's how that's pronounced, Van Deen. 1811 to after 1892, signed 3 blocks. Anne and Eliza inscribed verses from popular books of poetry on their blocks. Also note the baskets, tools, and animals among the flowers. Anne Briggs also signed a block on the Nyack album quilt. Okay. Some of these
I
people,
don't know.
it always amazes me when there's multiple quilts found that have,
Mm-hmm,
the same person has worked on them within a community.
mm-hmm.
I always think that's pretty wild.
I like this beehive too. Seems this community really had a thing for beehives. I wonder if they were like beekeepers. And then we have, oh, here's a Jane with like a, was this like a cow? Or kind of, maybe it's a cat. Is it a capybara?
I don't know. I was at first glance, it reminded me of a lamb. Like the lamb
But
that's
it has
but
got
it's
one
got that
hell of a
tail.
tail.
Yeah, it's got that tail. I would guess. I don't know. It could be anything. Um, did these
Hmm.
quilts immediately go to a museum? Is that why it's still here? Um, I would say with these kinds of album quilts, they were typically, just from what I've learned specifically about Baltimore album quilts, and I think that it carries over into lots of album quilts, is they were presentation quilts. They were not, we often hear about like the bride's trousseau and all that kind of thing, but a lot of times these types of quilts were made and given either to a prominent member of their family or to a minister or other religious leader or sometimes to teachers. And so they were never used, and they were considered, important in the sense that it was, a prestigious gift. And so I
And they were
think
just
that,
for pretty.
yeah, and I think that I think even displaying them, as long as they weren't terribly damaged by light or heat, they generally
Hmm.
stay, in very good condition. Unless, again,
Hmm.
like there are certain dyes that will deteriorate. But if it's stable dyes and light and heat aren't an issue and you don't have any mice or bugs or anything and it's just kept in a nice, cool environment.
I would also argue that, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know that I've come in contact with too many album quilts unless they're stuffed or have trapunto. They're not heavy. Like the batting tends to be very thin because I can just tell just by looking at this with the quilting stitches that this batting is really thin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like there's not like any damage coming from weight. I think you and I together have seen one particular album quilt that was heavy because it was had a lot of stuffing in it.
Like everything was stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And just how heavy it was just from that, and that wasn't even like regular
Yeah. I'm
thing. So
thinking
I'm like,
like
so
these are
you've got
pretty
almost got
heavy
like this
quilts.
trifecta of reasons why things can
Yeah.
last a long time because obviously quilts can be damaged when they're heavy. That's why you don't often see I did see it recently, but you don't often see a lot of crazy quilts hanging necessarily in museums because they're so heavy
Yeah.
that
They're
they'd be
often not sewn
damaging.
together very well, even the ones that are really pretty. Sometimes you realize that all that's holding them together are those fancy embroidery stitches that there's not
Hmm.
really even basting, or they pulled the basting out. So, yeah. But yeah, I would
I
I would say with any album quilt that is in really good condition, it was because it was a presentation quilt that just never got used.
hmm I remember I took this picture to ask your opinion on this particular set of tools, just based on, we often see some references in these to masons and stuff like that. And I was just thinking, like, what do you think these particular tools are referencing?
Well,
Just
I mean, it looks like
builders in general?
maybe a carpenter. I mean, that looks like a
Hmm.
square and a hammer and a saw.
Hmm. Hmm. And
Um,
then do you think there's like any significance here with having like the three
well, I'm
rings with
wondering
it?
if is it still Oddfellows if it's three different colors?
That's why I'm like,
I don't know.
hmm.
Because you see Oddfellows a lot on album quilts, but typically they're all one color. So I don't know. Were they being fancy, or does this mean something different? I don't know. This is
Now you know what else?
the carpenter's arm of the Oddfellows. Maybe I don't know. I'm not sure.
You know what else is interesting is it was in when I read that little intro to album quilts, it mentioned how there's often motifs in the corner to break up the blocks. Now, in some other ones we were looking at, like the motifs in the corner were all different. This one, they're all the same.
Yeah, that's
So they
interesting. Those orange
create a
peels.
secondary pattern. Well, and I was just
Hmm.
wondering, is it just this set or nope, it's all of them. Yeah, they create that secondary pattern.
Yeah, that's kind of
That's very
cool.
interesting.
No sashing, but
Mm-hmm.
they wanted to delineate the blocks and create
Mm-hmm.
that secondary. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Here's the Nyack one that it was referencing. Nyack album quilt. I also have to like give just a little nod to this like gothic-y looking font that they used for the, just Stay there. So Nyack album quilt, and for anyone that doesn't know, when we were at seminar, we were in Terrytown, which is one side of what's that river? Is that the Hudson?
I think.
I mean, that would make sense. And then so Terrytown, New York is one side, Nyack is the other side. And over it, if depending on how old you are, it would have been the Tappan Zee Bridge, or now it's the Cuomo, what's his face, Cuomo,
One of the
whatever.
Cuomos. Yeah, one of the
Yeah,
Cuomos.
but locals, and I'm considered a local, even though I live in Mass, we still call it the Tappan Zee.
Yeah, Alicia confirmed it's the Hudson. I was like, all I
Yeah,
know
yeah, I
is
figured. I'm
the
like,
Tappan Zee Bridge. That's all I know. So
well, I was just like, there's no other really massive river over there. It has to be the Hudson. Anywho, so Nyack album quilt, 1854, 80 by 92. This one's significantly smaller than the other one. On loan from Mount Tabor, New Jersey Historical Society. I have to say, I do have to give props to the fact that we've seen a number of loans here. So I really like how interconnected these historical societies seem to
yeah,
be.
yeah.
I don't see that a lot here. I don't know about you.
I
So
don't
we
know that all
got
of our historical societies are all that robust. Because we have like the
mm,
state historical society is really big. Like they have a lot of
mhm,
stuff. So
mhm.
yeah.
Do you know I don't think I've ever been to my state historical society? I got things to do. So many of the people whose names are on this quilt live in Nyack, or lived in Nyack. Wow. Riveting. Surnames include Ackerman, Briggs, Green, and Tallman. Note the beehive with bees. Use of cutout figures from chintz fabric, e.g., the camel. Camel? Who's our camel? Oh, all the way up here.
Oh,
Um, and the verse, when this thy form cloth overspread, may holy angels guard thy bed for the rapture.
hmm.
The construction of the quilt is unusual. The blocks were appliqued by hand, backed with a muslin square and cotton batting, and quilted by machine
Oh, interesting.
along the edges of the appliques. Wow. So even interesting. I don't know that I've seen anything like that. The 35 blocks were then with the plain half assembled with the plain half blocks onto the final quilt. So then they were appliqued on? Like they were quilted and then assembled
The ducks are appliqued by
with the
hand,
half
backed with a
plain
muslin square and cotton
blocks.
batting, and quilted by machine. It sounds like it's a potholder quilt.
Yeah, well, that was my first thought too. But they're not saying the edges were bound, although it looks like it.
Yeah, I don't
Let me
know.
get to one of the close-ups. Yeah, that doesn't look bound. That looks like the budding method
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Maybe they
with the
did that
tape
method.
over.
Mm-hmm.
With the tape over. And interesting, this beehive looks stuffy.
Yeah, yeah, and you can see where it's coming over. So, Robin has some intel for us. So the tool motif is representative of carpentry and woodworking, and also the Fraternal Order of Freemasonry. The square is a builder square, central and universal Masonic symbol. So I guess that's like that other one. That I guess that's that little thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Represents morality, honesty, and importance of squaring one's actions with virtue. The hammer, often referred to as a gavel in the Masonic Lodge, the hammer can symbolize the authority of the master of the lodge and the control needed to chip away at our flaws. Well, excuse me. And the saw, while not one of the more common main symbols like the square and compass, the saw is still a practical tool associated with the builder's craft.
Hmm. Thank you, dear.
Yeah, thanks. Interesting.
See, this is why we love when our friends are here.
Yeah, Janet
Okay.
also mentioned the Oddfellows chain is not usually as round as that one. Yeah, usually they're kind of oblong, like long
Mm-hmm.
links.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
interesting. But it
Mm.
often, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that it is Oddfellows because I feel like whenever you have Freemason imagery and you have links, it's Oddfellows imagery. They often come together. So
Hmm.
I like this. I
I
like this
noticed,
beehive block. I think that one's really cool.
I do too, and I noticed this name here. Mary E. Tallman, and it looks like typewriter print.
Oh, that's
Yeah, doesn't it
interesting.
look like super perfect?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that it is. It just kind of like, you know how some people have kind of printing that looks like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because on the flip side here, we've got this block with all kinds of stuff in it in a very like, you know, stylized kind of script work here.
You know what's interesting? That little those little flowers that I think that there's a Mary Witherwax block. That is that exact thing. Not
Well,
to
you
say
would
that
know.
it's
You've made them
so
all.
unique, but I do remember. I'm pretty sure it's a Mary Witherwax block, um, unless it's my study quilt. But I'm pretty sure it was a Mary Witherwax block. I remember doing that was.
Well, don't ask me because I made 33.3% of one block and you made all of them. So,
I didn't make all of them. I only made like 100 and something.
out of how many?
I think I made like 120 out of 180 something.
Oh, wow. You're lazy.
See, Robin says it does look quite similar to one of them, so she agrees.
I mean, I'm telling you that you're like you're gonna know. I don't know. And I don't have Mary Witherwax chilling right here. You know who I do have chilling right here though, just to remind you. Remember this
The
guy?
museum dog.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I was cleaning off my desk the other day.
I love the
This
book. The book is great.
The
That is
book is
weird.
very cool, but I also this is interesting how they like looped all these things in here, and also sadly this name in here bled pretty badly. But yeah, this book is awfully. I mean, of course, it's the Bible, but interesting too that like, so is all of this in here machine quilting?
It looks like it to me.
Yeah, and I can see the machine work on this side of this one here.
So this was 1854, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Um, that would have been a big flex at that time to have a sewing
Mm-hmm.
machine. I know in Florence Pito's book, in the first one, I think it's in Historical Quilts, she talks about it's the lobster quilt. And out on Long Island, this woman got just totally trashed because she was a newer quilt maker, you know, not a very fine, skilled needleworker. But she put this thing together and then I think she machine appliqued some of it and then machine quilted it, and it was a mess. But she was so proud of herself, and her sewing machine was the first sewing machine on Long Island, I think.
Oh,
Yeah, and so I can't remember what Florence said about it, but it's just funny. I was like, more power to her. She tried. Come on now.
and then we have this one, which the red and greenish. I think it's green. Yeah, it's really deep and
Okay.
rich. Take it away.
All right, this is sampler quilt, 1873, 76 and a half by 77 and a quarter. Gift of Sterling These. The quilt has the initials JEB for Jane Elizabeth Blauvelt. Didn't the name Blauvelt wasn't another thing, right? 1851 to 1926. She and her mother, Elizabeth Demarest Blauvelt, made this quilt after the fad for inscribed album quilts had faded. She chose different colors from the traditional red and green and in the earlier album quilts, but employed many of the same floral and geometric patterns. The quilt's individual blocks are not signed. Um, so she's deviated from red and green by using dark red and green. Like, it's still red and
Yeah,
green,
like
isn't
it's
it?
really, yeah, it's like it's
It's like a
really dark,
dark, like oxblood and hunter green.
like a maroon, like really deep. Um, yeah, it's hard too because there was probably no amount of color correcting that was really going to pull it out. I guess
Oh,
maybe it's a blue.
oh,
Maybe
it's
it's
navy
a
blue.
dark tealy
Okay.
blue. But see,
Yeah.
here's the thing. I don't think it's navy. I think it's tealy.
Okay.
Um, because I remember like again here we have like actual like green and that's
Mm-hmm.
couching. Um and then this like really deep I love this quilting on here though. That's just so sweet. Um yeah, it was one of those ones, right, where you're going like, "Oh, look at this." And "Oh, look at this." And "Oh, look at this." And they're all similar and then you oh, like
Yeah, this one's interesting.
also bringing all these points together. Damn, girlfriend.
Yeah.
That's a job.
I've made one of those before. I English paper pieced it because I was like, there is no way in hell that I'm ever gonna get that to work out. So I drew it out and then cut it all apart and English paper pieced.
Hmm. This
That's
refeed thing
interesting.
of leaves is cool.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And that
And then this
that
one
cut
is
piece
really
is
cool.
interesting too. Very
Hmm.
geometric, not like, you know what I mean, like lots of angles.
Yeah, and then like all the quilting, like this almost kind of looks like a bunny.
Oh, yeah. It seemed to me those last two blocks, they looked like they were just like little orange petal, like random orange petal shapes, or it's like a petal, orange peel
Hmm.
shapes.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, these here.
yeah, and above the
Hmm.
the mariner's compass too. It's just
Hmm.
random petal shapes.
Hmm. And then they got a little fancier over here.
I feel like piecing was their skill more so than the quilting.
Hmm. Well, they may not have like done really fancy work, but their quilting stitches look good.
Yeah, I mean they're not
They're really
terrible, but
tight.
yeah, they're just kind of odd. They're not. I'll be honest. I'm being critical because it looks like my quilting. I am not the greatest of quilters. I'm a piecer, or I mean, I'm not even a piecer. I'm an appliquer.
You're a tinier. You do tiny things.
I'm working on something big-ish right now. So,
Some other things.
what have we here?
Yeah, this little sewing kind of
Oh my
basket
goodness! Is it like
kind of reticule.
Is it wood? Is it
I
like bent wood?
mm, That's funny. I have one kind of similar downstairs. It you know what it feels like to me is it feels like what the equivalent today would be of like a cardboard type, but obviously it probably wouldn't have been the same thing then.
Well, they had different types of like paper boards, and I feel like
You think it would have been called paperboard?
yeah, like a Bristol board, or yeah, they had different terms.
Someone,
Yeah, they have different
yeah,
terms for it, but
someone was asking me when the New England Code Study Group went to Nantucket. Yes, you guys will see photos, don't worry. Um, they had a case of needlework tools. Some of them were not labeled correctly. Um, and someone had asked me, they had a like a sewing roll, I guess, in it. I forget exactly what it was, but someone asked me what they would have put in there to make it, you know, stand up, like to hold its shape. And I was like, you know something, I really don't know potentially what it was. I've never really like investigated to that level. But I have many pieces that use that, and the only way I know how to describe at least what it feels like to me is like cardboard.
hmm. Yeah,
So,
I mean, I think of all like some of the little doodads and things I have or that I've seen and kind of been able to handle and sort of guess like yeah they did use a lot of like a paperboard type like pressed paper kind of different than what we have today though. I mean like different
well,
weights
it's certain for
of
one, it would not have
cardboard.
been as cheaply made and full of crap as the ones we've got today.
Yeah, yeah,
They might have put a little bit of thought into making it.
yeah, I
But
agree.
even I have downstairs, I have a wall pocket, a fabric wall pocket. That might have been like a hair receiver. And it has what I would call cardboard on the back of it.
Hmm.
It also has like a signature and a name, so it's period. But yeah, so would we'd be calling that paperboard?
They had different names for that stuff. Like,
Guess we're gonna need to
yeah,
do a
but
little.
I do think they had access to different weights of paper too. Like I always struggle when I want like something from FedEx Kinko's like on really heavy cardstock. They just don't have it. um, yeah, but I feel like back then there was like if you were gonna hand make something, you could just go to your
Mhm.
local stationery store and get you know things ordered for you.
I remember those stores. They were so great. And then they had blown up here some more Victorian
Trade
trade
cards.
cards. It's like this one's a little bit funnier with this clown dude. And then there's this I think I have another might have another picture of her, but this lady like threading a needle, like just cute stuff. Oh, and I have a little video here of
Ooh.
a case with some little pretties. Some needle books. Man, I really cannot say words. Here, oh my God. See, here's a weird
Oh
baby.
yeah, that's one of the ones that's up on the wall too.
And yeah, it's a weird baby with some thread. What on earth does that have to do with thread? Yeah. Oh, and here is that outside building that I mentioned that I did not go into because it was so hot. There's our friend Jen.
Jen's like, "Hey, get the camera off me."
Well, you know what's funny is I don't have the sound on that. She's talking to me. And I don't even remember what she said, but I don't know. She probably was saying something like, "Don't get me in your video." Like,
And now
um,
we have, and you've shown it. So
yeah. And that is the end of that. I'll play this one more time just because
well,
it's not
yeah,
that famous, but it's really
Rockland.
pretty.
Yeah, Rockland seemed like a great historical society. Um,
Well, I had mentioned in the last video that this is one of those places where the grounds are really lovely. And it's just a nice place to I was because I was so hot, I got really hot in the museum because what I couldn't show you is on top of that exhibit, we went into the basement and also had a turning. We just weren't allowed to share photos
right.
from that. So, at one point afterwards, it was also like it's an old building, so the basement smelled like old building. And I can get kind of sensitive to that stuff. And I started to get like a headache and I had to go outside and just kind of like relax. And I'm sitting if I'm remembering correctly, I'm sitting on a bench under this big, gorgeous tree. And it's very kind of secluded in like more of a residential area. And it was just, it's very lush. And I forget exactly what was in this building. It might have, if I remember, it might have been one of those buildings like set up to look period with period furniture and things like that.
Gotcha.
Um, but yeah, at that point, I was just like, I am so hot, and but because everyone's counting on me, I'm going to at least like take some footage. And then on the side here, I believe if I something significant about this like garden thing here, I
The art
forget something
is
we
it
were
an
going in
arbor?
there.
Is that
Hmm?
are those grapes or
Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe there was grapes.
yeah, it looks like grapes to me, but
Yeah. My memory on it's a little fuzzy, given it that it was a year ago, almost to the day
right?
that I had seen this exhibit. And thank you so much, Jen, if you're watching or watching later, for loaning us your beautiful presence in my video. See, guys, if you haven't, you too can come to seminar and end up blasted in our stream because you ended up in a photo or video of mine and Steph's.
Mm-hmm. Yep, where you have to curse Jill.
I have a feeling she'll be fine.
Yeah,
So,
she's
yeah.
she's in the Baltimore album, the Baltimore Album Society, Advocate
Hmm.
Society stuff all the time. So
Wow, you don't have words either,
I don't have
girlfriend.
words either. Yeah, I did not have words yesterday on my stream. I don't know what it is. It's this time of year, I guess.
Well, we've officially crossed over into fall now, so it's
I
like,
know. As
you
I
know,
don't.
you were asking last time about Mercury in retrograde. Now it's like this like weird like cosmic vortex of
Yes, because we've
seasons.
had the autumnal
Equinox.
equinox. Yeah.
Hmm.
And our dear friend Druid is not here, but I would say to her, blessed Mabon, because
Hmm.
that is what this is. I guess yesterday was
Hmm.
Mabon.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. On that note, I have to go put a brand new bed together.
And Cake's got some cake to eat.
I want cake. Maybe I'll have to go get some cake.
Big bite for you. I'll take a picture of it. That's good enough,
That's
right?
the least you can do. Can you at least like send me some smell or something too? Like,
You know, it. You talk about AI and advances. Smell-o-vision's the one thing that I've always desired. you know?
you want that first? I want teleportation
Well, of
before
course,
that.
teleportation, but it seems like smell-o-vision might be a slightly easier technology to, to pipe smells in to your experience. Like, I don't know, the smell thing on your phone, like, versus trying to, like,
So
teleport.
we're
It
gonna
seems
have
like
scratch and sniff phones now?
I don't know.
Sounds like it's something you need to invent.
Maybe.
All right. Well, happy birthday, Stephanie.
Well, thank you very much, and thank you guys for being here tonight. And, yeah. Good.
I hope it was nice to look at pretty quilts on your birthday.
Of course. It's nice to look at pretty quilts anytime, but I mean, what else would I want to do on my birthday?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. Well, you go enjoy that cake.
hi, friends. Bye, guys. We'll see you soon.
Have a good night.